welcome. I've got Helena Pfeiffer with me as well within the RMIS office. We had five of these meetings on Wednesday, and we're continuing with the last three today. So you are more than welcome and thank you for the time. We really appreciate it. There's the quick agenda. I don't think we're going to take the entire hour and a half session. If we finish up early, that's okay as well. The idea for this session is a quick recap on the structure. Hopefully, everybody was part of the initial meetings, 3 weeks ago. Otherwise, we'll quickly do the recap. So I'm not going to go in depth. There's recordings for that as well that we can send. Well, Helena has already sent it or shared it with everybody, but if you didn't get it, please just ask. We'll resend it. But I think it's important quickly to recap. I'm also going to give an opportunity for questions just on the process. As you mentioned as well, I mean, we had the RMRD, so this is a similar process with a little bit of a twist to it. But I think it's important for everybody to have a clear understanding of how the structure is going to work and how the process is working, so that we can make sure that we get funding flowing for projects in the universities as well. So I'll quickly run through that, and then we would like to spend a little bit of time and have a discussion on the specific focus area group. So there's 8 focus groups. We'll get to that as well. The specific one with regards to competitiveness, I'll quickly explain why we did it in the fashion that we did it with regards to competitiveness, referring to production, nutrition, genetics, and there will be other topics within this focus group as well. But we'll spend a little bit of time on the definition. So we took the definition out of the 2030 strategy, which is the mandate of RMIS to execute or to implement. And we sort of need to backtrack from that definition that we got from our mandate back to reality to a great extent where we are today, so that we can identify projects and fund it properly to act as building blocks to get to that 2030 strategy. Once we get into that discussion, you'll understand why we need to spend a little bit of time on it to make sure that this focus group is defined correctly. It has to be generic to a great extent, but also specific to another extent to make sure that we have the correct people in this focus area group. The idea of the focus area groups, and I just want to mention that before we start, is really not to sort of ring fence specific projects to specific people and so forth, but the idea is to group like-minded people around the table from both on the research or the academics and industry. Is really to group like-minded people to have discussions over topics and needs analysis and so forth before we get to projects and actually executing projects. So we'll get into a little bit more detail later on. So I think quickly I'm just going to run through the process. Before I do that, there was an e-form with the previous meeting, so quite a lot of the participants filled out the e-form, and just a little bit of feedback. I think it's important to give feedback. Well, we'll give feedback on the feedback that you gave us. So here we go. So a few of the unclear matters with regards to the process that we have to sort out today as well. So if you've got questions after the session, please ask. We have to clear this. So the first one was the overlapping of focus area groups and clear definitions. That is the objective of the 8 meetings that we're having on Wednesday and today, is to clearly define the focus area groups, so that we will sort that out today in this session. And then the funding process, I will touch on that as we go, as well as the proposal evaluations, how that's going to work. I'll also touch on that. And then stakeholder input. That's sort of the main objective of Field to Future, is to make sure that we have input from as many role players as possible, both from the academic or the research world and industry, very specifically industry, to make sure that everybody has a input of research that's being done for the pure reason that we have to implement the research after it's been done, which is the major objective or the main objective of Field to Future. There were some questions about the communication with regards to research results, how we communicate that back to industry or other researchers, we will spend a lot of time and focus and energy from RMIS to make sure whatever research is done, that we communicate that back. And then there was a few questions on the structure with regards to RMIS, where we fit in and so forth. I'm not going to spend time on that. We spent a lot of time in the previous session, but if you have questions, I'm more than willing to answer them. And then thank goodness there's some positive feedback as well. So a lot of the participants also said that the structure is quite clear, and hopefully when we go through it now, again, it's the second time we go through it, hopefully it will be more clear. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate from the positive feedback is the second last one is a practical action-orientated approach to R&D. That was feedback from the participants, so we really appreciate that. That's sort of what we were going for. And I think the third point as well, encouraging collaboration across sectors. We really want to cross-pollinate with regards to ideas and resources and so forth to make sure we get this right. So I'll quickly go through the process. So let's start with this slide. It's a very simple slide, but I think it captures the idea of field to future. So the idea is we've got researchers or the academics on the one side, and then the role players or industry on the other side. The whole idea, especially within the focus groups, which is the sort of the first layer, is really to get these two groups of people around the same table. To make sure that when we identify needs or gaps or opportunities or challenges or whatever needs to be researched, that everybody has a chance, an opportunity to raise their voice and to put on the table what they know and what they can bring to the table and so forth. And I think really from industry side, at least from RMIS, we will go through a lot of trouble to make sure that we have relevant industry players around these focus group discussions, which will be held in June, to make sure that to a great extent that the researchers are guided with regards to what's really needed in the industry. And the major reason for that is we have to plug and play research after it's been completed. To a great extent, from a personal point of view, a lot of research is being done, brilliant research, and yes, it's capacity building, but the research is not really being implemented for whatever reason that might be. And we will really focus on this to make sure that if the needs analysis are done correctly, then industry sort of needs to be excited with regards to waiting for the research to be implemented. So that's really what we want to achieve with this field to future process, specifically within the focus area groups. Then just another thing, just on the top, so we've got a Red Meat Strategy 2030, and I think that's something that's not necessarily clear or clear or known to everybody. So there's an industry strategy 2030. It's on our website. Please go and read it. We did take a short summary out of it for discussion for this focus group in this session today. But remember the 2030 strategy, which is aligned with the government master plan and so forth. That is our mandate as RMIS to implement the interventions and action points within that document, within that strategy, so that we can get to the goals and objectives of 2030. So that's sort of the breach or the gap that we're trying to close. Is there's a lot of interventions and action points, a very, very long list of interventions and action points, and some of it's very generic, such as improve animal health. Now, we can't improve animal health as a generic topic. We have to break it down into specific projects, research projects or implementation projects or organizational projects, whatever is needed to get to a objective such as improve animal health. So we're really we are guided by the 2030 strategy, and we are measured on that as well. But we know from a practical point of view, we have to break it down into realistic projects so that we can ring fence it, we can plan for it, budget for it, and make sure we get the results and act as building blocks for that 2030 strategy. And then the last thing on this slide is sort of the process flow with all RMIS projects. Everything starts with research, then you go over to development, to implementation, adoption, evaluation, and reporting. So that's sort of the normal flow of projects. For this specific group, from an empirical research point of view, I mean, we always start at research before we go over into development, if development's even necessary. Sometimes research goes over into implementation, for instance sake. Just to understand from RMIS side is we've got other projects as well that doesn't necessarily start at the research phase with regards to we need empirical research to go on. For example, the traceability platform that we're developing currently is there were no call for proposals to assist with empirical research and so forth. The idea of managing animal diseases through the private veterinarians all over South Africa. I mean, we implemented that as well. There were no research and development phase in it. So I just want to clearly define that as well, is to say that some of the projects will start at research, and that's specifically for this group on the call today. But some of the projects might start later in the process because research is not really needed for that specific project. Okay. Then, so I said, this is just a recap on the previous session. I think the idea is it's sort of if you look at the focus area groups starting at the top, so it would be 8 different focus area groups, and the objective of these sessions is to clearly define them. But important in this funnel process is on the right-hand side is we really want to keep it with regards to topics. So we highlight the word topics is sort of a needs analysis. And the idea of the focus area groups up until the prioritization team is really to discuss problem statements, needs analysis, topics that is needed to be researched from an academic point of view. And once it gets to the RMS Innovation Unit, we will turn it turn it into projects or package it as projects so that we can send out a call for proposals or a call for action. So that's really the idea. The idea for the focus area groups is not to present your entire proposal that's already written with a methodology and expected results and so forth. The idea is take the problem statement, put the problem statement on the table up for discussion, and let's discuss that. And to make sure that the problem statement is a problem statement, point number 1 is a realistic problem as well, or need or challenge in the industry. And that's where, in my opinion, where the brilliance of this will come in, and the real benefit that we will get is to put that topics on the table and discuss it between the academics and the industry, which will most probably assist quite a lot to prioritize this as well. I think everything will without a doubt will be relevant with regards to topics that needs to be addressed in our industry. But the biggest question is how do we prioritize them and make sure that we do the correct ones first and fund it properly, and then move over to whatever is left. And also, as I said, these topics of projects need to act as building blocks to get to the 2030 strategy, which is our objective in RMIS. So just let's go over to the next slide. So we'll quickly, there's the 8 focus groups. So as you said, that's sort of the first funnel. The idea of the focus group is really to be sort of a structured social event. I know it doesn't make sense to say it's a social event. The idea is just it's up for discussion. I mean, we really want to stimulate discussion between all participants and not be a ring-fenced small group making decisions on specific areas and specific projects and so forth. So the idea is really to stimulate discussion, and it's also an open group. I mean, we need as many people as possible, not only academics. Very specifically, we need the industry people as well. So these are the 8 focus groups. As I said, the idea is to make sure that the 8 focus groups needs to stay, and that each and every one of them is relevant and realistic, and that they sort of that they have their place, and that we can keep it as this focus area group. The specific one that we're referring to today is number 4, competitiveness. So remember, competitiveness is a term from our 2030 strategy, so we had to bring it in here. But we also know we have to make it a little bit more specific. Otherwise, any research project can can ultimately can contribute to competitiveness to a great extent. So this one is very specific with regards to production, genetics, nutrition. So it's sort of the animal scientists in the academic world will fit in here. So when we get to the definition, we'll start to clearly define the definition of this group as well. I mean, under production, there can be a lot of projects as well. So we'll get to that in the next few slides, so we can have a look at that. Just if you look at all eight groups, everybody is gonna follow the same structure. As I said, the idea is you can also be part of multiple groups. You are not limited to be on one group. The idea is to have, as I said, to have like-minded people within each of these focus groups. The idea is also, hopefully, that the same project or need or topic can be discussed in various groups. And I think that will sort of be the cross-pollination that we refer to as something like, just for example, like let's say a beef grading system. So beef grading system can, well, in my opinion, needs to be discussed in at least 3 of these groups. And I think it's very important to discuss it in more than one group to make sure that we accommodate all the viewpoints on it. So, I mean, if you look at the meat grading system, the second group, which is meat safety and consumers, that's the meat scientists. So Prof. Arno, Philip Hugo, Michelle, all the meat scientists. I mean, from a meat science point of view, we need a lot of conversation on how we're actually going to build a beef grading system and if it makes sense and so forth. But a beef grading system or meat grading system also needs to be in, let's say, number 5, market access. I mean, beef grading system is most probably going to be the most important tool to really stimulate market access with regards to our exports. So then we need to have a export discussion on how we're going to use this tool, and is it a realistic tool to actually use to stimulate the export market. So that's just an example. So please don't think that you must fit within one of these groups and you may only live and talk in one of these groups. You are more than welcome to be on all of the groups. As I said, it's just like-mindedness within a group. So I'm quickly going to go over this. So as I said, the focus area groups, which will kick off in June, we'll show the timeline as well. Important here is as many people as possible. This is the biggest group, if you were interested in that. So with regards to the competitiveness, it's by far the biggest group. So I think we're about 20, but hopefully we'll end up, hopefully in June, with 60 to 100 people. We really want to open this up to get everybody around the table. We are going to appoint a facilitator, and the facilitator will be an expert in this field, most probably from industry, just to guide the discussion and to facilitate the discussion. We will not facilitate the discussion from RMIS side. We will do all the admin and structure and so forth to make sure that everything goes according to plan, but we will have a facilitator to make sure that everything runs smoothly in these focus area groups as well. These meetings will for sure be longer than just an hour meeting. It will be hybrid meetings as well. So please, if you can join in person, please do that. We're going to use the RMIS office for the in-person part of it, and if we're too many people, we'll just get a facility within Pretoria, but there will be a Teams link as well for hybrid discussion. Yeah, I think that's the gist of the focus area groups. Then the prioritization team, and I think we can spend a little bit of time on this just to make sure everybody understands this part. So we've got the 8 focus groups with all the people with the structured social conversation and discussion on topics and needs analysis, and the facilitator will make sure that the discussion goes into a direction, and so we can sort of all agree that a certain topic or need is realistic and relevant, so that we can dot it down and put pen on paper, and we'll do that from RMIS side, and also do a little bit of a first filtering of prioritization within a focus area group. The idea for the prioritization team is plus minus 15 people, which will be the representatives of each focus groups, the facilitators of the 8 focus groups. We'll also have 4 representatives from the primary cluster. So that's from NALFA, the RPO, the Feedlot Association, and the Abattoir Association, just to make sure that we've got the input as well from organized agriculture in the different segments within the red meat value chain. And if we need any industry experts and so forth, we'll get them into that prioritization team as well, which will be facilitated by the RMIS team. And the idea for the prioritization team is to take all these topics, needs analysis and everything that came from the focus area groups, to prioritize them within a focus group, but also to prioritize it across the focus groups. The idea is that prioritization team needs to present a list of topics prioritized from 1 to hopefully 100, so that we can give that over to the RMIS innovation unit. So that comes directly to us in RMIS, and that's sort of a proper needs analysis, in my opinion, of where we need to start and where we need to spend our time and focus on. With regards to, there will always be limited funding and time, we know that, is to make sure that we fund the high priority projects properly, so that we can get results in a reasonable time frame. So that's the idea of the prioritization team. And then that, as I said, will go to the innovation unit. That's where we will take it and we will package it as projects or whatever it should be packaged as, and we will send out a call for proposals to the universities if it's empirical research. Some of the stuff, as I mentioned in the beginning, will actually be a call for action with regards to third-party service providers. Some things like the bigger projects in the RMIS project portfolio, as I said, is not necessarily research from empirical point of view. So then we'll send out a call for action for service delivery and so forth. Just to clarify, if you have, I know a lot of the researchers already have a project proposal written with regards to methodologies and so forth and so forth. So the idea of this structure is to take out the problem statement, to present that and put it up for discussion in the focus area groups. If it funnels down or filters down this process and it gets to the innovation unit, and it's still a priority and it's on the top of the priority list, there will be a call for proposals for that specific project. And I mean, by default, you will most probably get that project and it will be funded then. So please see it in that way. We just have to make sure that the problem statement or the challenge or the need or the gap that you identified, that everybody sort of agrees with that and everybody had the opinion to give input. And then, as I said, the probability that you'll get the project from the call for proposals will be very, very high. Cool. Then I think this is the last one. Just to make this very clear, the Fuel to Future process, the implementation for the 2030 strategy, the results for the strategy, and the funding from a statutory levy is everything. Is we as RMIS, we are accountable for the funds, we are accountable for the results and for getting to the 2030 strategy. So just to make that very clear, we are mandated to do this, and we are held very, very responsible and accountable for every cent that we spend, and we have to deliver results for that. The reason why I bring it up is there will be signed service level agreements between the researchers and RMIS. There will be quarterly feedback. We're going to really do this properly, because as I said, there's a lot of eyes and ears on how we spend statutory funds, and we have to spend it very responsibly and to make sure that we actually get results that will build to 2030. Then just the timelines, and then I'll end off this part of the discussion and open the floor for any questions or input. It's just with regards to the timeline. So we had the introductory meeting on the 15th of April. Hopefully everybody on the call have joined that. So we are now at the focus group activation. That's what we're doing today. So welcome once again. And as I said, the main reason our objective for today is to clearly identify and define the definition of this specific focus group. Then from here onwards, we're going to have our proper meetings, which is the discussions will be held between the 6th and the 13th of June. We will send those invitations out, or at least the calendar out by this afternoon. So please take that in consideration with your planning. It's what's it in 3 weeks time, less than 3 weeks time, 2 weeks. So we really want to get this up and running and started. I know there's not a lot of time, but we really want to get this up and running so that we can start to send out call for proposals and get the research initiated and funded. So that will be between the 6th and the 13th of June. And then the prioritization team and the RMS Innovation Unit, all of those meetings will take place within July. And the idea is to send out call for proposals by the end of July. And then hopefully within August, we can get some projects initiated and funded. Then this structure is exactly the same. So we're going to use exactly the same focus area groups, participants, funneling structure. Everything's going to be exactly the same. So we're actually going to redo this entire process starting in August. And the idea is, as I said, exactly the same. Also, the academics with the industries just rerun the process. And the idea will be a little bit bigger. So the first idea for the next 2 months is really to identify research projects, empirical research. We've got limited funding, but we have a significant amount of funding that we can fund projects with. We really want to get that up and running. The idea for the second round is really to assist RMS with our bigger project portfolio for next year, for 2026. And the bigger projects might also include research projects from an empirical point of view, but most of them will be the bigger projects like the animal health structure in South Africa, the private vets and so forth, things like the bigger traceability picture, meat safety and so forth. So that will most probably go out for a call for action in August for third-party service providers. So we've got 13 service providers working for RMIS. So that's the idea for this, to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to also apply to be a service provider. And as I said, there might be some research also coming from this. Okay, then just open invitation on the RMIS website. If you go onto services, on the services, there's the Fuel to Future process, and under that, it's research and project structure. If you click on that and you scroll down a little bit, there's once your voice heard, there's an option there. So it's just a small little e-form. Please extend this invitation to everybody you know. We need as many people as possible. That e-form is just to get you on the contact list so that we can invite you for the meetings in June as well as in August. So please, whoever you know and you think might be interested to be part of these focus area groups, whether it's industry or academics or just somebody that's interested and wants to take part in the discussion, please, they are more than welcome. There's no limit on it. And they just need to fill out this e-form. Otherwise, we won't have a contact list to manage this process. One more, or there's another question, Hanki.
Yeah, just a clarity, Philip. When you send in this invitation for meetings in June, I think we should also send the corrected focus group so that people don't get confused. More especially this one of us for mid-science. Thanks.
I'll do that for you, especially for you.
No, I'm Prof. Arno. I could hear the cry from him there.
I heard the cry from many people on Wednesday as well, so it's fun.
All right.
Perfect. Any other questions or inputs? You're more than welcome. Perfect. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We're going to send out 2 things this afternoon: the calendar invites for June, as well as another e-form. If you would like to fill out another e-form, you're more than welcome. It's to give inputs on this definition. If you if you feel like it within the next 2 weeks and you want to dot down a few ideas, please do it on the e-form. Then we can accommodate that as well. As well as if you want to dot down some of the topics that needs to be discussed in these focus area groups, or this one specifically, or any of the other focus groups, the e-form will accommodate all of them. If you want to dot down some of it to put it up for discussion, please do it on the e-form. Otherwise, you can just take part in the meeting in June. So we'll send that out. And once again, please ask everybody to be part of this and send out this invitation. Varnu?
Sorry for such a late question.
Latni.
I was just wondering, is grassland science is part of this whole process? And if so, where does it fit in? Or don't you consider that as part of the RMIS research focuses?
Baie goeie vraag. So there's a specific reference made to it in the sustainability focus area group. So sustainability is referred to environmental and social, and there's a lot of reference made to grazing interventions and pasture management and stuff like that.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Perfect. Like my prof gaan by almal dan wees, nee. Gaan 'n besige tweede al wees.
Sorry, I just want to include that the email that I will send out this afternoon will have all the definitions, all the group's definitions will be there for you to have a look at. So you're welcome to change. Doesn't matter if you only attended this group, but you can log into the other groups as well and give your recommendations there as well.
Perfect. I think we can end off this session. Thank you very much. We are not saying this to all the sessions, but this was by far the most productive and efficient session we had up until now. So thank you very much for your input. We appreciate it and enjoy the rest of the day. Dankie.